In October, very significant, and one of the things we're going to talk about with Dr. Eugene Cherny is the fact that it is October, right, Dr. Cherny?
Yep, Lou, it's October. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll hope to talk about some of that this morning.
All right, now one thing we want to make sure we let people know about. There's some things that some misconceptions about people getting checked for breast cancer we need to address.
Okay, well, the first thing I'd like to talk about is that because actually there's a lot of patients that I have, and they just get into a state of denial. They're scared of it. Actually, now we start self-examination at age 20. That should be done on a monthly basis.
At age 20?
20, they backed it down to 20. That's
wow.
Right. From 30. And then the other thing is you start your mammograms normally at 40, unless you feel a lump sooner. And then the mammograms, some patients, I swear to God, I had one the other day. She's 52, never had a mammogram, and wants me to do breast implants. So I'm just going to say, you know, you really have to do this. Just do this for me. Do this for me so I can do your surgery, so I can.
Why is that important to have a mammogram before you put an implant in?
Well, obviously you don't want to put an implant into an organ that has breast cancer, I guess. It's not actually, you bring up a good question, because you don't get cancer from implants.
Right.
Actually, statistically, women that have breast implants have a lower risk of breast cancer. Huh. But I mean, you know, it's all about being a good doctor and doing a good exam. And I have had patients that have come to me for breast implants, and they have had breast cancer, and instead of having cosmetic surgery, they end up having curative cancer surgery and reconstructive surgery, and that's obviously the right thing to do. So
we're leading this conversation into breast implants this morning. If you do have breast implants, how are you able to do your normal check? Like, would you be able to feel if you had a lump after you've had surgery like that done?
Awesome question. It's paradoxically, it's easier to do your self-examination when you have implants than when you don't.
How is that the case?
Well, especially after you've had kids, the breast tissue loosens and the breast becomes a little more lax. And this is why we do mommy makeovers on the breasts. When you have an implant under that tissue, it actually splays the tissue out, makes the breast tissue a little thinner, and you can actually feel things against a uniform, firm surface of the implant. There's patients where we could not feel a lump before, and then we felt them after surgery, really little ones. And so there's no question that implants make it easier for me to examine my patients. So
kind of showing you the display of what happens is this with a...
Yes, this is one of the ways...
With an implant?
Yeah, actually, this is the simplest way to reconstruct a breast is with a breast implant. Breast implants aren't used just for cosmetic surgery. They're used for reconstruction.
So the implant goes under the muscle?
Under the muscle, yeah, I didn't know that.
It does?
It actually does, and believe it or not, most of my A cup patients and B cup patients for cosmetic surgery, it also goes under the muscle, because that gives the more natural result. And it does not impact, I mean, a lot of my patients are bodybuilders and yoga masters, and this does not adversely affect your muscle function at all. Worst thing that it'll do is if you're like super athletic and bench press, your breasts start kind of moving up and down when you flex your pecs.
Now, is this how it's always done, or is this how it should be preferably done?
Well, you know, it's individualized. We follow an algorithm in surgery where we try to do the simplest thing that will do the best job.
Right.
You know, you don't do more complicated things. Here's some of the more complicated operations, which we do when, well, let's say you can't use an implant. And let's say that's because the chest has been irradiated to eradicate the cancer or something like that. Then you have to start thinking about making the breast with fresh, non-injured tissue. And one way you can do it, what's cool about this is that you kind of get a tummy tuck out of the deal. Oh. You actually have to have a little extra, a little fluff, you know, to do this operation if you want to have it.
So you're moving tissue.
You can either move some of your tummy with the muscle attached, and actually on the other side they'll show you can also move some of your buttocks to make breast implants to make a breast out of that. I mean, there's some very cool stuff going on.
Wow. So a little bit of extra you have could come in handy.
A little bit of extra doesn't hurt, I always say. And there's another thing that's important to know is that because a law was passed, it's about 5-10 years ago now, at the federal level, breast implants and breast reconstruction surgery for breast cancer has to be covered by federal law. They can't deny you breast reconstruction now.
Really?
The insurance companies. Well, they were, and this was clear as something that had to be for everybody. So,
what's the recovery like, both from a basic surgery and then from the reconstruction?
It's actually a little, well, patients who have had the breast cancer have been through a lot more. They're in a more weakened state. So, you know, the patients that recover the fastest are the ones that are athletic and strong. You've been beaten down sometimes by chemotherapy and by radiation, and having a reconstruction, then the recovery is a little longer. And sometimes we see a slightly higher complication rate in breast reconstruction than in cosmetic breast implants. But that being said, the recovery is not bad.
And the cosmetic surgery, is that what's the recovery like there?
Yeah, that's like a few days.
Oh, really?
A few days off, depending on how vigorous your job is. I guess if you work, you know, at something very physical, you have to take more time off than if you do something like administrative.
Okay, we're already up to the 10th.
Or if you're a TV star.
up to the 10th month of the year so far, so it sounds like you're probably going to get real busy in the next couple of months.
I guess coming up towards the end of the year.
Toward the end of the year. So if people have questions, they need to make appointments, sooner is better than later?
That is generally true. Yeah, sooner better than later. I'm at heartlandps.com, and I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and just check me out.
But most importantly, as we head into this new month, we want to remind everybody, just make sure you get your exam done. If it's time, don't forget about self-examination.
Yeah.
Be safe and smart before you even get to a point where you might have to get reconstructive surgery done.
Absolutely. Thank you for summarizing it so well.
Perfect. All right, Dr. Cherny, thank you, sir. Appreciate it one more time.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Eugene Cherny, again, heartlandps.com for more information, or just stop over on the west side of town over on Hickman Road. Easy to find, great building, huge location. Go check them out in person. Say, hey, I saw you on TV, guy. Well, how about that?
And it's right by the Girl Scout cookies. So
maybe they have some.
That's popular.